Well, firstly, can we just say what an amazing moment this is? We're in a grand final of a European tournament and Ascend aren't in it. Now, that's not amazing because Ascend aren't there, and I've got nothing against Ascend, but we never thought this would happen. Never thought this would happen, right? Maybe Ascend finally get toppled, but we never thought that they wouldn't be in a grand final. They finished 3rd place. What a chance it is for Quadrant to take first. What do Online Warriors need to do to take down Quadrant? More of the same, but a little bit better. They need to be ever so slightly quicker. They need to be making sure they get that little final second in a stronghold or on a hill or on the ball. They've just got to make sure Quadrant don't get too comfortable in some of these objective games. But boy, do they need to take those Slayer games off of Quadrant more than ever.
And for Quadrant then, it's not Navi. It's not the old enemy Ascend. It's a new challenger that has arrived on the scene. Some players more familiar than others. But here we go in grand finals. Game on. And through the man of the hour, of the moment, Respectful, as he looks to claim a championship for the first time in a very long time.
A very long time, and maybe too long for a player like Respectful. And whilst we're saying, you know, it's the best opportunity for Quadrant to get one, but Online Warriors are going to be feeling like maybe this is going to be their best opportunity to win a pro series at the same time. But here comes SLG trying to move on in with the sniper rifle. And it was, of course, on this map that TchiK was able to get that overkill with the sniper. And it was SLG who followed up with one afterwards.
2 strongholds captured, 4 down here. Engagement on dummies. Not going to amount to much, but 2 kills for Online Warriors. Back smack though on the side there, and that looks as though Overshield's going to be completely negated. That will not be a factor, and Quadrant do go 4 dead. A and B in control. Make it see a triple cap, and Online Warriors setting the pace nice and early.
Yeah, they need to kind of take this game to Quadrant as well, try and take them out of their comfort zone, and it's exactly what they've done at the start of this game. Quadrant started okay, but Online Warriors have just pushed them back, forced them back with their individual skill. Online Warriors and the 1v1s that they win allow them to get into a position where they can really run rampant on a map like Livefire.
Snakey, recognizing that they have already controlled and defended B, and immediately turned his attentions over towards that dummy side. 2 members of Quadrant challenging top middle. And they will both meet the sword. TchiK re-challenge, both players down to no shields, but NURIX with a backstab comes out, and in the nick of time too. Phlux back tower. NURIX will just back him up, put the brakes on, put him into reverse, but Respectful's come out of the darkness, and from Nest will get the reset onto C. They can continue the score. 56 seconds now, and counting to 20. But Quadrant have started to contest C. Respectful down to no shields and dispatched here. Now Quadrant have an opportunity to retake control of this game, but Overshield just about to pop.
One of the biggest differences I've seen in Online Warriors compared to almost every other team in Europe right now is just look at the stats. Kills, 4-5, 4-5, pretty even across Online Warriors. Quadrant, 6-4, 1-1. Online Warriors, there never seems to really be a player who has a slow start or seems to be a big outlier when it comes to the beginning of games. They all start pretty hot. And that makes for a terrifying opening strategy when everyone's firing in a way that they can win those engagements, they can get those power-ups or power weapons, or secure a stronghold if they need to. Similarly to why we saw Online Warriors beat Ascend when it came to that bizarre capture the flag. Both of their captures were from the opening strategy. They are so good out of the block, and it's so difficult for teams to try and contest against that.
Respectful then thought about contesting B. Ultimately, he decided that was not the best course of action. Now we will look to re-engage now that he has the help of his teammate. Snakey's gonna slide in and get the damage done. That's a trade. B will start to convert. SLG with the sniper rifle top middle will rattle off a shot, but it will not connect this time. B converted. C converted. Online Warriors start to score once more. The score now 81 and climbing. The Quadrant's 40. The opening engagements, and as you rightly say, these 2 teams, particularly Online Warriors, have spread the load evenly here. The workload has been spread, but on the other side of things, SLG's having a very slow start by his high standards with 1 and 7. 3 dead momentarily for Quadrant. Triple cap, locked in. And Quadrant, are they about to tap?
Well, something we have seen a lot of these players fail on historically is late series, late games, a long enduring day where they've had to play a lot of Halo. And are we seeing Quadrant maybe just start to flail a little bit when it comes to these late hours? You gotta remember it's almost past, it is past midnight over in France. SLG perhaps needs a coffee or 2 to wake him up. Is at the moment 2 and 7 is not exactly what you'd expect. Phlux has perfect eyes on this overshield as well. 141 to 40. It has been an amazing start here for the Online Warriors.
phlux remains patient. Toe in A just to convert it whilst also holding down the overshield for his teammate. Snakey's the one that's got it. He's popped it into his chest. And his attention's now turned to C up through dummies. 3-man hit here onto C. Will Quadrant recognize this and rotate away? It looks as though they're going to try and play defense. Overshield has been completely evaporated. It's out of the equation. But the damage has been done. So they've got C. But Quadrant recognized the push was coming. A and B in control for Quadrant, as they have 2 members down and in the respawn screen. Phlux with the heat wave. Fry is 1. That's 2 dead, 3 dead now. Shad last man standing. A starting to convert, but the B spawn's coming through and Phlux loses his life as a result of that. Just not aware, not ready for it. A and C for Online Warriors. As now Quadrant turned their attentions to C to convert that. SLG sliding in, getting a face full of Mose. It's 146 now to 64 as Quadrant desperately try to eat away at that lead.
It's been a good period of time for Quadrant. They've done pretty well to stem the aggression and the points that Online Warriors will be able to score here, Richie. But again, you just look at the scoreboard, you look at the amount of kills that are, TchiK's been able to get 14, but the rest of Quadrant a little bit slow still. And historically, again, for Quadrant, when SLG doesn't perform, Quadrant seem to fail. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're relying on SLG to get kills for them to allow to have success, but it just seems like he is one of those key factors. He just brings the rest of the team up with himself. And he needs to find a little bit of that form now in this game if Quadrant are going to be able to get back into things, because their score has been doubled by the Online Warriors here, but still a little bit of control for Quadrant. And there's still plenty of time left in this game to come back into things.
Seen Mose slide out there for a second and try use the repulsor, but he didn't seem to be strong in the force, and the Metachlorans didn't do the job that they needed to, and that force push ultimately amounting to nothing. Overshield, second in succession now for Online Warriors, but what can he do with it? Last one was not very successful for Snakey. This one looks to do a little bit better. 4 dead now for Quadrant. The opportunity here for a triple cap if they so choose to, and they will. Respectful. Sniper rifle dips out, looks to put pressure on the spawners. It's going to come over towards that dummy side. First line of sight, gets de-scoped and unable to lock in. Does hit the body of Shad. Snakey should clean it up and does. Double kill for the Englishman. It's 180 points now to 80. A significant lead for Online Warriors. Can they keep Quadrant on the ropes?
Oh, they really are performing in a way we never would have expected. Insert Star Wars quote here. And Quadrant, they just don't really have the chance to be able to really get back into this game. The sheer pace of which Online Warriors are playing at the moment, off spawn, Quadrant are always being challenged, and they're finding it very difficult to break out of either C or A. And B and C still firmly in control of Online Warriors, and we're slowly but surely teetering towards an early lead here for the Online Warriors in this series.
Can they hold on? We've seen Quadrant struggle in the past when they've had a massive lead. Can they come back from a massive deficit though? 215 to 84. They are scoring. Points are going in the right direction if you're a Quadrant fan. 2 members of Online Warriors set up over towards the TchiK. Nades back tower will get damage too. Respectful will pay this time around. A and B were contested for a moment, but they've been transferred. The BC setup here for Quadrant.
It's a good setup. Are they too far behind? This is something Ascend were also falling victim to. Online Warriors were creating such a gap in the early stages of the game that even when Ascend found a moment of hope where they would put together X amount of kills or X amount of time in a stronghold or get a flag, Online Warriors still had that lead that all it took was 1-4 dead and they were right back into the game, and usually were getting over that finish line. We might be seeing the same thing here. Quadrant, they had a great period of play there, but still Online Warriors only 21 points away from winning this one.
It's the first overshield in a long time to go the way of Quadrant, but much like Snakey, it's suffered the same fate. We're seeing Respectful get eliminated bottom tower. Heat wave now. They are starting to score, but they're only eating away at it very, very slowly, and how Quadrant would desperately want a triple cap here. Not only that, but to hold it down.
It's one of those risky things where you want to push for a triple cap, you want to try and put points on the board, you want to pressure the Online Warriors, but pushing for a triple cap does put you at a very vulnerable situation where all it takes is one spawn to go wrong and one death to go the opposite way, and then suddenly, you've lost the game. So a 2 stronghold setup is probably better to try and worm your way back into the game. Maybe you push for 3, but then instantly go back to protect the 2 and almost force the other team to just hold on to that 1 rather than trying to consistently rotate and go for the 3 and the tri-cap. But Quadrant are making their way back into this game. Online Warriors maybe starting to worry a little bit, but as they hold B here, they're going to give themselves a chance to win this game.
Stronghold capture.
They've locked in B along with C. Snakey's all out of ammunition in this heat wave, and he's only got the sniper rifle. Needs to find the wig, isn't going to be able to though. TchiK puts him down, but they're still scoring. And Quadrant need to go. They can ill afford the stand on ceremony here. Only requiring 5 more points. Phlux doing a great job of just staying alive and milking time. Gets one slay, but C will get converted, but only for a moment will that bide time as A is starting to go the opposite direction, but their big reset comes through. This game will continue. Quadrant's lives here in game 1 will survive.
Surely it's just too late here for Quadrant, but they're going to try and go for a little bit of a trip cap. Mose will be there to fight with them. Shoots a dead body just for good measure, may I add. But this is an important fight for Mose. You fight your way out of B, and then you're able to push to either A or C with the team. They get that kill. They have now the numeric advantage, so they can push in. Looks like A is going to be their target. And, you know, they only need 6 points. Online Warriors in touching distance.
Heat wave will bail respectful out of a very tight jam. But C now for Snakey. Quadrant need to get the B or need to reset C. They haven't done it quick enough just yet, but they're possibly flirting with the idea of a triple cap now. Trying to give him the wiggles net. Shad comes out on top. That kills massive. Mose also falls to SLG. The Slayers are going the right direction here. 3 dead for Online Warriors. Respectful last man alive, but he has managed to capture A and will immediately try and get out of dodge here. But they continue to eat away at this, and perhaps desperation will start to play a part here for Online Warriors if they do not get points and do not get the right slays very quickly.
Yeah, 1 player seems to be jumping in C, 2 players jumping in A. They're a little bit all over the place. It's quite sporadic at the moment are the Online Warriors, and this is where the leadership comes into it. One of these players just needs to settle them down, call a play. This is the one we're going for. B is going to be their target now, and the kills at top mid should surely be enough to secure these final points.
B was the hit, and it was successful. And they stand strong. Online Warriors take game number 1 of this best of 5. And they're looking to reset this bracket and reset this whole game, this whole situation. What a run they've been on.
The whole of Europe watches, hoping to go to bed at some point, but you're not going to bed anytime soon, it would seem, because the Online Warriors want to take us all the way into the late night hours. And I tell you what, if they keep playing like that, we may well be going a little bit further. As a reset definitely on the horizon, just from what I've witnessed from game number 1. Strongholds just seems to work out for this Online Warriors squad. Who would have thought it? A quick, fast-paced game type where the objective is kind of the secondary thought process after getting the kills for a team that is very good at slaying. Seems to be very good, I must say. But SLG struggled in the early stages of that game, did get back into it. NURIX, the new boy on the squad, -11, not really good enough in a important grand final like this for the Quadrant roster. So got to step it up going into games number 2 and 3. But Online Warriors, they are full of themselves right now.
Something we can speak of, you touched on it briefly at the start of the game, is how Online Warriors set themselves up for success, which was a great start to a game. And really, they had that great start. They had about a 100-point lead, and that really just sets you up for the rest of the game, where you have that insurance policy that you don't need desperate things when you have such a significant lead right off the start. Then
it's insane that a team that is only just formed has had so much success with their starting strategies, not just on one map, but it feels like pretty much every map we've seen them today. And all that takes is, when you form a team, right, one of the first things you go through is a starting strategy. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of the only things that Online Warriors have really discussed and gone through is, how are we going to start each and every map? And they have seemed to have found the right recipe to success on almost everything at the moment. The only worry is, once teams start to realize what your starting strategy is, do you have a secondary one? Do you have a B setup? Do you have a C starting strategy? No one's seen Online Warriors play before. No one's played against them before. They don't have the notes. They don't have the footage to try and counter anything that's happening. So that's one of the advantages you have when you do newly form a team. And maybe that's something that Online Warriors are riding off, but that's not the only reason why they're winning. I mean, you watch their footage, you watch any 4 of their POVs, the shots they're hitting, the way they're moving, the way they're holding hands around the map, supporting one another, the assists are incredible. I cannot sing enough praises about from what I am seeing from this Online Warriors roster. Quadrant, however, in the winners finals, they responded excellently as soon as they lost the game, so I'm expecting them to come back strong here in game number 2.
that game number 2 is going to be Street Slayer, and it's been a very successful and almost a proving ground for Online Warriors in this competition. They've won every game on Street so far. Is that a bad omen for Quadrant? Or much like when they went down this first series against Online Warriors, can they rally back and win the Slayer? and push on from that there on out. Questions will be asked. We'll get the answer very, very shortly. Game 2 is underway, and we're through the eyes and ears of Shad as he immediately puts pressure down on Driveway, but gets absolutely lit up.
And again, a starting strategy. Success for the Online Warriors. 2 kills and the rocket. TchiK's going to be the 3rd target. This could be all 4 dead, all 4 members. And okay, there's spawners, but it's 3-0 lead. Rockets in their hand, and everything is playing into the favor of the Online Warriors. In North America, we were always speaking about E United being the best Slayer team in North America. I am already at that point where I may be considering Online Warriors one of the best Slayer teams that we have in Europe with what we've already seen in these online tournaments.
Well, 6 kills to 2 here. Make it 7. Snakey played his life expertly there. And it looked as though he wasn't long for the world over on ATM. Drops down bottom tower. Gets face to face with a member of Quadrant. Gets a bit of the wiggles. Doesn't know whether to go left or right. Stick or twist. And ultimately it means that he will fall. Respectful coming off the respawn. He's headed straight towards L and backs up the benches. But ultimately, NURIX will eliminate him. And how we need a massive game from NURIX here after particularly game 1 being such a struggle.
But again, consistent off the board from Online Warriors. They've all had a hot start, none of them struggling. As for Quadrant, a couple of players maybe a little bit slower out of the blocks. And are we going to see Online Warriors get to a point where they have, you know, a big old lead that they can build from? Because it does seem like there are periods of the game where Online Warriors just, they go through a lull, where maybe they get caught on a bad spawn trap. They don't really know how to get out of it, and that's always going to be something from a newer team. You don't necessarily have the experience to know how to break out of setups and out of spawn traps, etc. But if they can have these hot starts and get significant enough leads, by the time they have broken out of that spawn trap or that setup, they're still usually ahead or at least level. So that's why they've been really performing to a point where maybe teams haven't been able to deal with them all tournament long.
Mose, stock rifle in hand. He's been doing damage all tournament long. And how he loves to be back side by side with his long-standing duo. And could be bringing instant success from the change. Still a lot to be done here, but they have definitely turned some heads. As we head towards Valencia, Rockets have just spawned up though. Neither team able to pick them up just yet. They're still ripe for the picking. Drop shield comes down. Phlux does back away though, so will not be able to employ it. Rockets still on that podium, waiting for someone to get a bit frisky. Snakey backs down that player inside C. Mose will be the first pick this time. Respectful though, will answer back. Neither team willing to step out here, but there's such a significant lead here. Make it 9 kills here for Online Warriors. Quadrant are in massive trouble, and Snakey hitting shots like that. The freshest for this side of the streets. Incredible.
I mean, Respectful running around with an assault rifle. I'm having flashbacks from Halo 5, a little bit of matchmaking PTSD at the moment. Respectful used to absolutely dominate with automatic weapons. And any map that he manages to get his hands on one, you better be sure that he's going to be up in your face using it with the BR as a support from distance. And I tell you what, how about a set of rockets to go alongside it all? 28-17. Online Warriors are starting to run away with this one. Quadrant just kind of all looking at each other, saying, what on earth is going on? The sheer pace of which we're seeing this team take to us.
Of course, disclaimer, that would have all been in French, not English. We're just translating it here for you. With 32 kills to 19 is the score, and the Quadrant don't get their act together and get some clean slays without trading, they're in real danger going down 0-2 in this series. And then we're only just 1 game away from a bracket reset. For the first time in Halo Infinite's life cycle, we could be about to see a bracket reset in Europe. NURIX down to no shields, but somehow phlux finds a way to thread the needle and get that kill. Rockets popped up. Shad will not get them for free. Mose slides in, he picks them up, turns his attention towards tires for a moment, but backs away. He does fall. Rockets along with him. And this is exactly what SLG and Co need.
Are we going to see just a surge in Alpha Quadrant getting back into this game ever so slightly, but everything that I said previously coming to fruition a little bit, where Online Warriors have an early lead, they've got enough of a lead that they can go through a small lull. Quadrant take advantage of it, they get 6 or 7 kills, they get within touching distance, and then Online Warriors once more find their form to close the game out. That is pretty much how every game that Online Warriors have won has gone today. It has been crazy how almost scripted it's felt at times. SLG secures 1. It's a 10 kill difference at the moment, but surely this is too big a deficit for Quadrant to get back into.
And it's little mistakes like that. We've just seen SLG standing out there and taking that 1v1 with Mose when he knew he was down in the fight. Desperation on hand. When SLG is playing the way he should and the way he can, he doesn't make those decisions. But 3 dead here momentarily. And Snakey in tires, all alone. And how he needs the help to come fast. It's not going to come quick enough though, but he has managed to get the trade. And they can trade it all out the way out now to victory. Mose falls on driveway to Shad, but again, they're trading these kills. This has been very impressive from Online Warriors.
I think I've said that enough times today, how impressed I've been. I wasn't expecting it. I put my hands up. I looked at this roster, I didn't think it would necessarily work on paper. But when you put it into practice, everything just seems to be ticking all of those boxes. In all of the departments, slaying, objective, teamwork, assisting, everything's been there for them. 45 to 35, and they only need 5 more now to close out this game and go 2-0 up in this grand final. Remember, it's a best of 5, but they need to win not just 1 best of 5, but 2 best of 5s if they're going to win this grand final.
2 kills then. And Mose might have the game in his hands right here, be able to end it.
Ooh.
He does go down. He did manage to fire a rocket, but only 1 kill now. Shad, try as he might. It might not be enough though. All they need is that 1 more pick. And they can double their series lead as the game slows down. Shad face to face, manages to somehow get the pick, but is ultimately traded out by Snakey. Very, very impressive. It continues to be impressive. 2-0 series lead to Online Warriors, Dan. Question marks all over the place here.
I love the end of it as well. Brand's like, screw this, mate. And he just dives in. He says, someone finish this kill
bang
for
on,
me.
Brandon.
And it was pretty accurate.
Yeah,
and,
pretty
you
good.
know, there was a teammate there to support him, as they have been all day long. There's always been an extra player on Online Warriors to finish off that kill, whether it be Mose for Brandon or whether it be Phlux doing it for Snakey. Teamwork has been top tier from them. And they find themselves 2-0 up in this grand final against a Quadrant who, I'll be honest, look a little bit shell-shocked. Weren't necessarily expecting this pace from Online Warriors. As we look at the statistics, everyone on that roster in blue stepping up, getting the kills, getting the assists, doing the job that they needed to do for the team. And we need to see a different Quadrant coming into these next few games. Otherwise, we are going to be heading into a bracket reset.
And if Quadrant just being a little bit guilty, Dan, of complacency here. After winning the first best of 5, it went all the way down to the wire. But they find themselves down 0-2 in the series, and maybe they thought it would not have been this difficult. They're not playing against Ascend. They're not playing against Navi. This is a new challenger now. And they're asking questions that perhaps they weren't prepared for.
If I think about what Big Brain Clutch would say, he'd say, "Damn,
Do his accent, please." No, I'm not immersed.
This has been
what I
a
did.
streets game. We knew full well it was going to be an Online Warriors victory." That was close enough, right? It was probably too southern. Wes isn't quite that southern.
You'd be
but I
doing
went
well
for
to
it
get.
anyway.
I mean, any more south, you're probably hitting the pole. I'm gonna be honest.
That's true at that point, and then Father Christmas gets involved, and you never really want to see that happen. But you know, it was streets. It's a game that has been in favor of Online Warriors, whether it be Slayer, whether it be Strongholds, whether it be King of the Hill. They seem to have been finding a lot of success. So maybe game types have gone in favor of Online Warriors so far. And then where does that put us with King of the Hill on Recharge? Because in theory, this shouldn't really favor anyone, right? No one's really been able to have the time to practice it, but Online Warriors have been quite good at the newer maps. And, you know, it's an even playing field when it comes to practice time on King of the Hill Recharge. So maybe we're looking at a potential 3-0 here.
I think we definitely go off the fact that this is a coin toss at best for between these two teams. They don't have strategies they need to employ. Maybe it comes down to momentum here. And it's been all one-way traffic in game 1 and 2. Quadrant look a shadow of themselves, and they need to bounce back here. Or they will be going again. And you're going to get put to a game 5, and you're going to get your bracket reset. You do not want to go down 6-0 in a series. At some point, Quadrant have to come to life. And it needs to be here, or we will be going again. Opening strat, SLG gets the first pick. Will it be enough to secure camouflage though? NURIX has got one onto Mose also. Numeric advantage for now, 3 dead for Online Warriors. NURIX has got the camouflage, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered.
It's the first time we've really seen Online Warriors be bested in an opening strategy, and I guess King of the Hill It was about time that it happened, that someone was able to stop Online Warriors. But look at the response. 3 dead from Quadrant. Hill time now in favor of Online Warriors. And this first hill, I love it because it is absolute mayhem. Off spawn, you can usually hit a player with a grenade, if not 2. So you've got to be very particular about where you're standing in that hill. Where are you positioning yourself away from the spawner so that you are not an easy target from both nades and, of course, those BR shots.
That impressive start the Quadrant had. Hasn't amounted to much in terms of the score, because now we're seeing Online Warriors bring it right back into touching distance. NURIX though, crouching in the hill, lines of sight now over towards Mangler. He has managed to pick up one onto phlux. Numbers advantage will go their way. Snakey though has ensured 3 go down. Snakey is absolutely clearing house, throwing people over the top rope. And Shad could be his latest and is his latest victim. But all that time has amounted for Quadrant. The damage has been done. They just need to clear the hill. With 2 members down already of Online Warriors, the defense will not be strong.
2 things I noticed. Quadrant, when they're in the hill, head on a swivel, constantly doing 360s, looking for spawners, looking at who to fight, not just cowering in a corner. Then also the bravery from Online Warriors, just throwing themselves at Quadrant, at times physically hoping that their body will do damage if they hit them hard enough, dropping from batteries down to bottom middle, but it's not going to be enough to get them the first point. It goes in favor of Quadrant as they take the lead here on King of the Hill Recharge.
No body splashes, no Rob Van Dams will be the key to success here. You can tap into Jeff Hardy all you like, but at some point you've got to be alive in that hill to score points. The first hill has gone towards Quadrant, but now Online Warriors, when the setup has come long haul, they look very, very strong and have put down a significant amount of score here. And the push will not come here as 3 dead momentarily. NURIX almost into the drink. That's the armbands. You little slipperoo.
Did his jump button just stop working? Oh, you hate to laugh, but you have to laugh.
I love to laugh. Laugh's my favorite thing.
At some points. I mean, I think even Mose, he might have been frustrated, but he'll have a little tickle and have a laugh after seeing that one back. But that be a very detrimental death? Because Online Warriors were so close to getting this hill, and now they've got to try and rescue it back. They have done the initial damage, though, and will be scoring once more. And also, somewhere not so far away from me, Onset is very happy. Just purely the amount of wrestling references that you were able to throw in just moments ago. A big smile on his very happy head.
And now, though, as their attention turned back towards this long haul hill, Online Warriors have done such good work in ensuring Quadrant can't hold the setup. They have got some semblance of control, though, on long haul. And they're starting to close that gap. Of course, reminder here for everybody at home, 35 seconds required to secure a hill. And Quadrant very quickly starting to approach that score now. Online Warriors starting to get a little bit desperate. NURIX though manages to survive and stay alive in the hill, does the damage for his teammate, and they have managed to score the second hill. And this is exactly what we needed from Quadrant. 2-0 up in the King of the Hill now.
So you know when Lottie was asking me, what did Quadrant need to do to take down Online Warriors or vice versa? It turns out Quadrant just need Mose to slip off the map, and that gives them a free stronghold. I genuinely think Online Warriors, they capture that stronghold if Mose stays alive there. He has the sword. He's in a position where he can just defend blue. It's a very unfortunate scenario that Online Warriors, and particularly Mose, will be kicking himself. They can see that back as well. Mose might be playing it off right now, saying, "Oh, guys, a nade hit me. I fell off the map. It didn't really work out. Guys, I fell off the map. It didn't happen." But, you watch it back on stream and you see he just took a dive.
Thoughts and prayers go out to what can only be described as Mose's left bumper if he plays bumper jumper, because it failed him last time out. But now Quadrant really starting to apply the pressure. The cogs in the Quadrant machine starting to turn right in the nick of time here in this series, as they slowly hold the setup and apply even more pressure. Mose slides in. That'll be enough to contest the hill. Wise play by NURIX, waiting until they have numbers advantage before he re-engages.
It's a difficult hill to try and break into, his elevator, but Online Warriors were able to break it, and now Quadrant have done exactly the same. It's such a big hill as well. So much nooks and crannies you can hide behind whilst continuing to score. And Online Warriors have finally won that battle, and maybe they've done enough. Do Quadrant give it one more attempt to try and break it here, or do they just accept their 2-0 up and they set up for the next one? Judging by their movement, looks like they may just be giving up on this one. No, NURIX wants one last stab at it.
He's gonna get one last stab as well. Looks, try as he might, Dipsy Doodle in and out of the doorway. It's not gonna be enough. And Online Warriors answer back. It will not be a clean sweep in this King of the Hill. And now we head over towards Underpass, which is a very, very difficult hill to hold. But early points do go towards Online Warriors.
And Mose is just having flashbacks. He doesn't want to even come anywhere near this side of the map right now. So he's staying the other way, and TchiK does his best Mose impression into the water. I gave that a 7 out of 10 for that dive. But Snakey getting kills and will get the sword. Can he jump up onto it? Yes, he can. That's how you do it. And now he can just hold on to this kind of area. He can hold the hill for a little bit, but you don't want to give up your position, right? This sword can be so important up towards blue. So this is really good that he plays the edge of the hill, and now he just defends his position.
Keeps popping in and out to get even more score. TchiK trying desperately to put more damage down onto Snakey, but his number was up.
Phlux.
He had to give up the goose. As phlux hit some lovely, lovely shots onto SLG. And they're very quickly starting to close that gap, and we could be talking about a 2-2 game if Quadrant don't get their act together.
I tell you what, can we talk about this man? Snakey has been so good in this tournament. Watching his POV, the things he's been doing have been incredible. Some of the plays he's been making, very intelligent plays that he's been able to pull out against some of the best teams and players in Europe as well. He seems to always have a sword in his back pocket as well. Don't know how he ends up with it. Maybe it's because he makes the jump. That certainly helps. But 2-2. Yeah. And now Online Warriors are firmly back in this game.
Game is a hell of a lot easier when you do have a sword in your back pocket, that much is for sure. But now all of a sudden Online Warriors starting to ask those questions. Does doubt start to creep in for Quadrant? 3 dead. As Online Warriors continue to score inside the hill. Snakey's gonna backstab now and finally put that sword to use. SLG manages to milk his life, but is it for long enough? Yes, it is.
Killing Frenzy?
Killing Frenzy? Excuse me. Snakey, that's too much. Add another one. Add another one. As Snakey cuts down quite literally the Quadrant defense.
It does fall to a very dismal death in the end. Maybe he gets a little bit overzealous going for the shock rifle. Perhaps could have tried to play his life in pipes with the sword, but he was feeling it. I don't blame it. If you've just hit a killing frenzy, you want to get a shock rifle and you want to carry on. What the flux did I just see then? Somehow he's managed to get that kill. Was not expecting it, but Online Warrior is doing so well to keep Quadrant on this spawn cycle where it's just constantly 2 pushing, 2 pushing, 2 pushing. Quadrant haven't had 4 alive for quite some time.
Scrambling. Online Warriors keeping it frantic, making sure that they thrive inside of the chaos and the anarchy. And they only require 15 seconds or so. And this 3rd hill will be theirs with 3 minutes left on the clock as well. It's been all one-way traffic in the second half of this King of the Hill game. It's been all one-way traffic in this series for Online Warriors. And they are very close to resetting this bracket.
So you say 15 seconds, I say about a thumb's width is how close they are. That's usually how I analyze it and how...
That's measurements.
But
yeah.
15, I mean, that's a good guess how you've gone for 15 seconds.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I think so.
How do you equate that to a thumb's width, though?
Well, I guess it depends on your thumb length, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're not all the same.
Divided by 2, maybe 3.
Does width come into it? I think it probably has to, right? I mean, sure. At some point. Yeah. Either way, though, Pink missed for respectful. And that will be another kill for him, but Quadrant have started to eat away at this Whirlpool Hill. But 3 dead once more. NURIX over towards Tower will not be able to get close enough. And Online Warriors so close to taking the lead for the first time in this King of the Hill, and they do. Quadrant backs to the walls, and Online Warrior could be about to land a killer blow.
The good thing for Quadrant is the hills have now done a full cycle when it's back to bottom middle. This was a hill that Quadrant won initially, but that was off the starting strategy where they had got a few kills, they got a little bit of control, but it seems like this seems to be a more comfortable hill for them. But with respectful in the way he's been playing, 23 kills at the moment, by the way. All 4 dead for Online Warriors, but you better believe that Online Warriors off spawn are going to absolutely hurtle towards this hill, but a camo is going to make it very difficult.
What can NURIX do with the camo, though? Opts to play a little bit more height. I'm not mad at that at all. Over towards batteries. Phlux gets back down in bottom gold, and NURIX is going to make sure he locks this kill in for his team, but they're not scoring points all this time. Respectful slides into the hill. Gets taken care of. All 4 dead. for the second time in quick succession for Online Warriors, and now Quadrant are close to tying up this game once more. It's going to be a 3-3 game of King of the Hill. The 1 point to win it all. Quadrant need this just to keep this series alive.
It's a difficult hill to try and attack when you are going up against a team who is already holding it strong. And it's Quadrant who hold it first. So this is now going to be the big question for Online Warriors. How do you break this setup? A sword usually helps, but is there one in play? I don't think there is at the moment. SLG's just using his fists instead. And with the aggression we're seeing from Quadrant, it's making it very difficult for Online Warriors to even get near that hill, let alone think about breaking this setup.
SLG takes down what has been a final boss in this series in Snakey. I think he has double the shields in this game. As NURIX tries to slip and slide out towards long haul. But we will see Quadrant answer back. It will not be a clean sweep in this best of 5. The series is 2-1. We're going to a game 4 bare minimum.
And I mean, they were a Mose slip away from winning this series. It has to be said. There's just that one stronghold that could have gone their way, and Online Warriors might have been sending us to a reset. I don't want to harp on one play too much, but I will.
I mean,
because that is at the very top level of Halo. You can't miss a jump. But sometimes, you know, at the top level of any sport, massive mistakes happen, and that's one of the biggest ones that we've seen all day long. 25 kills for SLG, stepping up when he needed to. Snakey and Respectful had their fair share of kills as well, but ultimately just came down to that one extra stronghold. I don't think Online Warriors will be too disheartened. I think they'll still be pretty confident with the position they're in, but Quadrant just about keep it alive here.
And with Online Warriors going down 2 captures in that game, to then roar back into life and take the lead 3-2. It looked as though the writing was on the wall, but Quadrant dig deep, Dan. They show resilience and they show heart. Does that put them in good stead going forward? If not for this series, perhaps the next.
Yeah, I think that, you know, you need a little bit of confidence. You need some sort of belief. But at the same time, I just fear that maybe Quadrant are getting a little bit tired, where it's it doesn't get any less funny. I wasn't expecting that to be in the replay package.
That's a low light. That is not a highlight, that's for sure.
It caught me off again. How dare you, production, throw that in there, unexpected.
Replay operator.
Oh, you naughty.
No. Naughty.
Lost my train of thought now. Where was I? Quadrant, yes. I think that they're maybe getting a little bit tired. So even though they've won 1, they need to win the next 2. I think you go to a reset, it starts to favor Online Warriors, not just for momentum, but I think this Online Warriors squad is ready to play until 6 a.m. if they have to, right? These are gamers. These are elite gamers who will play matchmaking until the early hours of the morning, ruin all the North Americans' day in matchmaking. Whereas I think that, you know, these French guys, they're kind of tired at this point. They've got to where they expected to get, got to the winners finals. Usually they take a bow at this point. They're not at this moment in the tournament. They've already gone to bed. They're tucked in next to their baguettes, having a great time. But they need to find that extra little bit of energy to get them through, because this is one of the best chances they will ever have at winning a pro series.
I just have a question about the baguettes comment. Is
Sure.
the baguette something that you cuddle, or is it like a pillow sort of situation? Just need to know if it gets.
I think it's
very
entirely
quickly.
preference, and also what the baguette is filled with. You know, if it's a
Does
nice
whole
cushy,
meal
like,
matter? Does whole meal
yeah,
matter?
I mean, the difference in bread also can make a real difference, and the smell of it helps, because
Yeah,
you want to
absolutely.
cuddle something that smells nice. If it smells bad, maybe you'd rather have that as like a pillow situation, right? But do you go for 1 baguette or 2? That's always a big question for me when you're having them as pillows. But anyway, we'll get to the baguettes later as we're into game number 4. Quadrant trying to fight back in this series.
Here we go then. Camouflage for Shad, but it's not for long. And Snakey makes sure he cannot get away with that cloak of invisibility. What a series he's been having. What a tournament he's been having. This team thrown together only in the last week or so. It's been so impressive. Snakey eyeing up the options, waiting for his team to get the first pick before he does ultimately try and run this flag. But NURIX on the opposite side of things, looking to do the exact same thing. Snakey is behind enemy lines, playing so patient, but the first pick has gone against him here. And he's going to have a whole host of Frenchmen running in his direction if he's not very, very careful.
And you know, naturally, I'd look at Aqaurius capture the flag and I'd be thinking, well, this favors Quadrant. But that's the old me. After watching what Online Warriors did on Bazaar Capture the Flag against Ascend, I'm starting to think that everything that I once believed was true no longer is, and I am in some different reality with how this tournament's gone today, because everything that should have happened has not happened. It has been very much against the playbook, as both flags currently out, and some big kills coming from TchiK. He's got to do a lot of work here with the Heatwave.
I don't know who we have to thank for this alternative timeline. Is it Dr. Strange? Is it Dan Gaskin? Because he says the old me when that was only a few hours ago. So how things have changed for Dan as he's developed from a young caster to an older caster in the space of 6 hours. But here we are. Flag standoff. NURIX. Commando in the back pocket if he chooses to employ it. The flag could be very quickly returned if SLG can hit more shots like that.
A lot of responsibility for the flag carrier. You've got to make sure you're not only put in a position which makes it awkward if you do lose your fight, but you've got to win your engagements when they happen and maybe pass on that baton if you get a little bit juicy and feel like pushing forward, which is exactly what Snakey's done here. He says, look, I'm getting the kills, my shot's on, someone else pick up that flag, I'm going to try and take down the opposition. Whoop.
There be moments as Online Warriors draw first blood in this game 4. And how it could be back-to-back caps if only for NURIX to step in and shut that one down before it could get anywhere. But 2 down momentarily here is Camouflage player in Mose, and phlux also in a bit of trouble. TchiK expertly plays his life, 2 dead. Snakey top P. TchiK so lazily shooting his own teammate just to help Snakey out. Fair play to him. It's a good job by him. But the open engagements here, they favoured Quadrant, or so we thought, but somehow Online Warriors have found a way once more, Dan.
Online Warriors just literally throw themselves at you. It really is crazy. I mean, we know that Halo Infinite is very much a close range game compared to what some of the other previous Halos have been. You get up in the face of your opponent, a couple of shots, beat down, or even a double beat down. You've got weapons that allow you to get melees quickly as well. But Online Warriors are doing it in a different way. I think you said it best when you said someone got a face full of Mose in the first game. It seems like there's a face full of someone at every point. An Online Warriors member is waiting around the corner at all times to just pummel you into the ground, and it is genuinely terrifying to watch.
I very often say things best, but often when I say nothing at all. As NURIX gets taken down, 2 dead. Snakey and Respectful in the respawn screen. It's going to be an opportunity here for Mose, though, to pull the flag, perhaps against the run of play, and he has paid because of it, and 3 dead now. And all of a sudden, Quadrant have a flag on the move, all the way over towards that car side. As it heads into generator, SLG desperately trying to stay alive, unable to do so, but the flag has made it to where it needs to, but nobody, the communication has not come through just yet, but it finally has. We're all tied up.
I like what Snakey tried to do. He tried to defend the opposition flag rather than trying to make, you know, the ballsy play of taking down his flag that was being ran. He was hoping that maybe he could kill SLG and a teammate could jump on it and they could get into another flag standoff, which they had previously won. Didn't work out for him on this occasion, but you've got to try and make those plays sometimes. I do think it's the right call, and that's what Online Warriors have been doing all day. They've been making the right calls in pretty much every game, and now Respectful has a camouflage, and it looks like the push is about to happen here for Online Warriors.
Here it comes. 2 slays in their favor. Quadrant all turtled up in big trouble. TchiK goes down, the last member of Quadrant to do so. All 4 dead. It's going to be the fridge spawns. Can they get to the overextenders before they can make too much territory on the map? SLG's already made it to front base. He tries to head off the flag, and he successfully gets there, but phlux shuts him down. Grenade will do the damage. 2 members down for Quadrant, 2 members down for Online Warriors. And the slays have gone their way once more, as it so often has. Can they finally punch this flag in? No, they can't. Shut down, but phlux is on hand. Tries to drop the shoulder. Snakey will get the pull, will get the touch, but it's only 1 man up, and it's that man Mose to slam in the flag, and Online Warriors take the lead, but it's a counter cap opportunity.
Have they committed too much? No. Respectful off spawn, able to get the kill. SLG's there to maybe follow up, but it looks like Online Warriors with the grenades off spawn might just be able to keep Quadrant at bay here and just slow this point down to try and keep this lead. This is the right idea, though. If you're SLG, you don't just try and desperate that flag. You don't try and force it. Instead, you take the fight to Online Warriors. You retake their base. You force them out towards pink side so that then eventually you can get that flag. Great play from SLG. I love watching his POV.
SLG prioritizing the dynamo grenade. And you know why. They're so strong. And Mose steps out and immediately regrets that decision. That much is for damn sure. But trades somehow come out on top. NURIX last man alive. Not in a position to touch this flag just yet, as phlux does get the return, and now all of a sudden, Online Warriors threatening to enter the enemy base. It's a siege.
Online Warriors, when they do decide to push in, they're very scary to play against because they move as a pack, but that's what you've got to do. You've got to shut down the initial pusher, get that man advantage, that player advantage, and then push back out, and that's what Quadrant have done so successfully here. Dynamo's spawning as well, so now they can be the aggressors. These Dynamos, of course, so powerful to try and push into a base. You've got to try and do something about it first. Have to ensure you get the kill before you can start throwing those Dynamos, and Shad still has one to play with.
Flag pulled out, but it's gone back the way, adding more yardage to it, so that's an interesting play, and let's see how it works out for them. KotH turns out not very well. 2 dead for Quadrant. 5 minutes and change on the clock. It's gonna start to be a hindrance for Quadrant if they don't get their act together soon.
Had a Dynamo nade in his back pocket and just decided not to use it. That was a big surprise. Could have got a little bit of info, could have done a bit of damage. No, just stays in the pocket. Didn't feel like the Dynamos today. Didn't fancy a sizzle stick. Maybe tomorrow. 2-1. And Online Warriors, you know, they've been in this position before. Against Ascend, it was on Bazaar rather than Aqaurius, where they had a lead and they let it slip in those final moments, but then it was overtime. They found themselves in and they very quickly got that flag capture. I think they'll be more than happy as long as they've just got a little bit of a cushion going in towards these last final moments, but Quadrant will also pull a flag here, so we're going to get another flag standoff between the two teams.
This next kill is going to be so important. It's gone the way of Online Warriors as Mose has somehow stayed alive through all of that frenzy, through all of that chaos. TchiK tries to give Snakey the uppercut, but his T-Rex arms just are not going to be long enough this time. Flag standoff, we've been here before. It favored Online Warriors last time. It might possibly do the same again. Camouflage about to pop up. It's honors even. Both flags back at home. Commando frying Snakey, but he hits those shots all the live long day. And here's NURIX now with the camouflage. Eyes up Snakey. And he has T-Rex arms. What's going on here? All 4 dead for Quadrant.
That's embarrassing. And that's why Snakey made sure he added an extra few bullets into that body. Flag being pulled, all 4 temporarily dead. NURIX is first up, but this flag can move a long way before the rest of Quadrant are spawning. It's 2-1, and it is very quickly about to be 3-1. Nothing short of a miracle would stop it now.
That NURIX play, much like the Mose play, you may end the series when something like that happens there and then. And especially if your teammates are in the respawn screen and they see that happen to you, everyone's head goes down collectively.
Oh, Richie, can you smell that? Or is that just...
What are you smelling, Dan?
It smells like a reset. It's awfully close right now because Online Warriors 3-1 up and they're running another one. Quadrant just can't seem to keep up. It almost seems like they've given up on this one at this point. NURIX is there to try and defend in Generator, but Online Warriors, they don't even need to run flag at this point. You've got a 2-cap cushion and only 3 minutes remaining.
Will they opt to play defense then? 2 dead apiece. All I mean in the grand scheme of things is SLG does send that flag home, but they've got to get flags of their own moving and in the right direction. The information just not there for SLG. Desperately walking out front base and gets fried by phlux. No phlux given.
3-1 still, 2 minutes 30, and it's starting to get a little bit hectic, a little bit frantic in terms of the pushes that we're seeing from Quadrant. Maybe they're getting a little bit desperate to get into this base. TchiK, who has been such a powerhouse for this team, has been one of the standout players in Europe, has to lead the charge, will lead the charge, gets a double, and is now looking to get a pull. But on the other side, Online Warriors being a nuisance, pulling the flag of their own.
And it's respectful. Who comes off the respawn to try and stop this flag. They have got a member P1. That flag will get sent home. There's an opportunity. There's a chance. There's a sliver of hope here if Shad finally puts his hands on it. Yes, he does. Everybody's having trouble here, mechanically, it would seem. But Shad does punch that flag in. The 1 flag game with 1 minute and 44 on the clock.
So Online Warriors, they've given Quadrant a chance.
Oh!
As long as you're within one. What's happening right now with some of these melees? It has been quite depressing to watch at times, it has to be said, but eventually a kill is found. phlux finds a kill onto NURIX. That's all Online Warriors need to do here. Just keep Quadrant on the spawn, keep getting at least a kill or 2 to have the player advantage. They are running a flag which will temporarily distract Quadrant and will just, you know, for a while stop them pushing for the flag. But if they do get those kills, if they do get that player advantage, then that invites pressure onto the Online Warriors.
As we find and head into the final knock-ins of this game. A minute left. A minute for Quadrant to get a flag moving, to tie up this game and extend possibly the series if they can. But they need to tie up this game here and now. 2 go down though for Quadrant. Make it 3. And Online Warriors have been so good at this. They know how to play time expertly.
Cobra flag returned.
They've done it in King of the Hill. They've done it in Slayers when they need to. They've done it in Oddball. Now time to do it and capture the flag. Play out this time. 30 seconds remaining. You just have to play on the defensive now. Quadrant, they have one more push, and it's got to be perfect.
First pick. That's 2 picks now in favor of Quadrant. And they have got a flag on the move, but what we have here now is respectful behind enemy lines with the heat wave. Enters 1 into the respawn screen. Make it 2. As respectful flies once again to send that flag home and to send us to a bracket reset. Online Warriors get the job done here in Grand Finals.
And for the first time, we get a bracket reset in a European Pro Series. It's been the Ascend show time and time again for the Pro Series for the entire year. But now we get 2 teams who are so evenly matched. It means we need a reset in this Grand Final to actually find out who's the best. And this is exactly what we wanted. We wanted Europe to get to a spot where Grand Finals weren't just a blowout, and we got 2 teams going toe-to-toe.